In simple words, this video is about money and how it's created. It focuses on the United States, but the concepts apply worldwide. Where does money come from? Who has to pay it back? What happens when there's too much money? Why is there so much wealth inequality? Here's a breakdown of the key ideas in simpler terms. Physical money. The government prints money in the form of paper bills and coins. This is only a small part of all the money in the country. The government makes a bit of profit when they print it. Inflation. If there's too much money going around, it loses its value. Imagine if you had $1 million, but it could only buy an apple. Inflation is when money becomes less valuable, and if it gets really bad, people stop trusting it. Private banks. Most of the money today is made by private banks. When you borrow money from a bank, they create new money by typing numbers into a computer. This new money is actually a debt you have to pay back with some extra money, interest. Deposits. When you put your money in a bank, it's not really yours anymore. The bank keeps some of it and lends out the rest to other people. This is how they make money. It's like a magic trick where they create money out of thin air. Risky investments. Banks can take your money and make risky bets with it. Sometimes these bets get out of control and cause big problems, like the financial crisis in 2008. So, in a nutshell, the video explains where money comes from, how it can lose value, how banks create money, and why that can be risky. It also touches on wealth inequality, which is how some people have a lot more money than others. Speculative investments. Banks often engage in speculative investments, such as making bets on the future prices of various assets, like stocks, bonds, and real estate. They do this to earn more money. However, when these speculative investments become excessive or overly risky, they can lead to economic problems and financial crises, as witnessed during the 2008 global financial crisis. Financial instruments. Banks use various financial instruments, which are essentially tools for making financial bets. These instruments can be quite complex and include things like derivatives and securities. Derivatives, for example, are contracts that derive their value from underlying assets or indices. While these instruments can be useful for managing risk, they can also be misused and lead to financial instability when things go wrong. Debt and money. It's important to understand that in the modern financial system, debt and money are closely intertwined. When you take out a loan from a bank, it creates new money in the form of debt. For example, if you borrow $500,000 to buy a house, that $500,000 becomes a debt that you owe. At the same time, it's also considered money in the broader economic system because you can spend it. The bank profits from the interest you pay on this loan, even though the money it created didn't exist before. The housing market. Banks often focus their lending and money creation on the housing market. This has led to rising home prices as people take on more and more debt to buy homes, sometimes beyond what they can afford. In some countries, this has resulted in a significant property bubble, making housing unaffordable for many people. Financial risk. Banks are increasingly involved in complex and highly leveraged financial activities. They use derivatives and other instruments to bet on various economic factors. This can create enormous financial risk because the total value of these bets can be much larger than the actual money supply or the economy's real value. When these risky bets go bad, it can lead to catastrophic financial crises. So, the video reveals how the modern financial system works, emphasizing the creation of money by banks through debt, the potential dangers of speculative investments and complex financial instruments, and how all these factors can impact the overall economy and financial stability. It's a complex web of interconnected elements that influence the world of money and finance.